Hello, everyone. Welcome to Astrologer's Guide. I'm Rod Chang. Today's podcast, I'm going to share you some information about the comet. You probably already heard about there will be two possible comet appear in the sky in April. So today's program, I'm going to share with you about information of these two comets and examine them from the astrologer's view. Okay, so let's begin. So the first I'm going to share with you is the information of these two comets. So the first, we have two comets. The first comet called C/2026 A1 MAPS. So this comet would be possible be very bright around the Easter holiday, especially after Good Friday, the 4th of April. We are going to able to see this comet. Well, there is a but, okay? There is but, I will explain. So if we can see this comet could be very bright, even some astronomers thinking we may able to see it during the daytime. So let's expect this comet going to surprise us. Well, another comet called Comet PanStarrs, C/2025 R3. This comet will be expecting to see it around something like mid-April. It in the beginning we are doubt about this comet can be seen, but now according all the information we have, I'm sure we are going to see this comet. At least you can see it with telescope or binocular. Whether we're going to see it with our naked eye, you probably have to first, we have to be the place have a low light pollution, and maybe this comet has to be very, very bright. Then we are going to able to see it. So first, let's go to see this first comet around going to appear around the Easter holiday. We call it a C/2026 A1 called MAPS. Well, first, this comet belong to one particular group of comet. We call it a Kreutz Sungrazer. So this type of comet usually discover very late. Usually we discover it maybe 1 week before it can be seen, because these type of comet are usually very close to the sun. This time, we have discovered this comet nearly 3 months before. We discovered this comet very early in January. And because this type of comet believed to belong to a particular group related to the fragment of the great comet 1106. And usually they are very, very, very close to the sun, so difficult to be seen in the beginning. Usually when astronomers see it, it already bright up the sky. So this time we discovered this comet 3 months before, and we are going to expect this comet reach the perihelion on 4th of April. On the 4th of April, that's a Good Friday, okay? This comet will pass maybe like 162,000 kilometers from sun's surface, from the surface of the sun. So this is quite far, so it will not hit the sun. But would it survive? Because when you close to the sun, it's extra hot, extremely hot. So these comet can be, a break up and then disappear in the sky. So until now, we still don't know, are we going to see this comet around the Easter holiday or not? So this could be a surprise. Then we have to, tune in and waiting for the information around maybe 4th of April or 5th of April. Okay, it could be survive, and when it survive, we are able to see it. Okay, the first things I'm going to share with you is discovery chart. This comet called MAPS because it was discovered by a group of astronomers. They are running a project called Project MAP. The MAP is content their name, their name, and it's interesting. I'm not going to go to detail, but there is a 4 astronomers and put their name together, their family name together, for the map. This word. Okay, so this is the reason why they call maps. It was been discovered on the 13th of January from Chile, use the remote telescope. It is very interesting. The day we discovered this comet, you can see the Jupiter is opposite all the stellarium around the end, around the Capricorn. So it's very interesting. These comet maybe give us some map, some insight of future. Not only Jupiter suggests the future, also the moon opposite Uranus. Okay, so this is what the discovery chart tell us. The more interesting, we are going to study its route. Okay, so at this moment, these comets move around the Cetus constellation, and then on the 4th of April, it will do a U-turn when it approach the perihelion. It will turn back, okay, from Pisces constellation. I'm talking about constellation, okay, and then move away and then move to South Hemisphere. This map tells us that if you want to see this comet, if this comet is lucky enough, survive after the perihelion, and we can see it from maybe 5th of April, or if we are lucky, from 4th of April, it's more likely to see it from the lower latitude or south hemisphere. This does not mean you cannot see it from North Hemisphere, okay? But if you are like me living in the higher altitude, like London or Berlin or Amsterdam, well, you must be very, very lucky to see this comet. Okay, even though, okay, I give you some tips. If you heard about this comet survive, what are you going to do? Is nearly sunset, going out, find where it has an empty place around the southwest area. This is for North Hemisphere, for people who living in the North Hemisphere. So the comet will locate around the southwest hemisphere and around the horizon if you are in the higher latitude. Or you can traveling during the Easter holiday. That would be super expensive, but you can try. Okay, and then just like after the Easter holiday that week, around I think around the sunset, around after sunset, you go to see toward to the southwest direction after sunset. You are going to see this comet because if it survive, it will be very, 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 very bright. And for South Hemisphere, you have a lot of chance to see it if it survive. Okay. Now I'm going to do a very general interpretation for this comet. So let's go to see. Here I prepare some data for you. So the first, the discovered degree is at 13 degree Gemini. This is what I call the sensitive degree of comet, because we have the data of discovery, and when it discovery comet was located at 13 degree Gemini. If any country or any person who has planet located in this degree would be very sensitive, and then you may channeling comet's energy to be surprised, to change your life environment, or to be very creative, okay? Or maybe comet will set you free from something. All right. So this is the 13th degree Gemini. And then if you remember early this year, we have lunar eclipse at 12, I think it's 12 degree Virgo. So, 12 degree Virgo, 13 degree Gemini. So it's probably going to hit anyone who have planet around the 12, 13 degree of mutable sign. All right. So this is my first suggestion. If you have any planet there, probably pay a little bit attention. And any country has the angle or planet around this degree, probably going to get influenced by comet and the lunar eclipse. On the 4th of April, its perihelion point is a 14 degree Aries. Well, this degree would become another sensitive degree. Any person or any country have planet at 14 degree Aries could be very sensitive too. All right, so on the 6th of April, Comet will get very close to Earth. On this day, Comet will be at 22 degree Aries. So this is so far what we know about this comet. Usually, the other sensitive degree is about when does comet cross the ecliptic and when does comet pass the celestial equator. But while we can see this comet is not going to pass the ecliptic and the celestial equator, so we can ignore it. At this moment, we don't know when are we going to see this comet, but we can expect to see this comet around the 5th of April if it survives. So another thing I have to remind you is that everything I say today only valid if comet can be seen by naked eye. This is my own personal method. Okay, if you are interested in studying comet and you have your idea, you are very welcome to share with me. But this is my personal method, how I study comet. I only focus on comet when they can be seen by naked eye. All right. So from 4th of April to 8th of April, comet is around the tropical zodiac Aries. And then from 8th of April to 21st of April, if we still can see this comet, it will be around Taurus. Okay. After 21st of April, comet moved to Gemini and maybe we're going to disappear from our eyesight. So what does this tell us, this information? Well, comets appear around the Aries. It's kind of reinforce or kind of emphasize the things related to Aries about fire element, about heat, extreme heat weather, extremely hot weather, heat wave. Could be riot, could be, well, from a traditional view, it could be also war, slaughter, and some bloody, terrible things about the violence. But you may, like my dear friends say, do we need a comet tell us that? We probably don't need a comet tell us the world is still, we are experiencing huge war threatening us. However, when a comet appear, show you a sign. It just tell you it may go beyond you can image. All right, the scale, the large scale, extreme large scale of the war or extreme heat that people couldn't cope, or those riots, those violence are going to scare us. All right, so this is worth us to pay attention, especially the comet moving through the early cardinal sign. That is kind of a very sensitive degree for us, okay? Well, and then when comet pass through Taurus, if they can, that means after 8th of April, if comet still can be seen by naked eye, then we need to pay attention about Taurus. That means not only economy, we know the stock market, how stock market performing at this moment. They still have a lot of people believe we are only way is up. I don't believe. I think for so many astrology configuration and our study suggests this year we are going to face a uh, economic downturn. And that's a most gentle word, or I would say we are very likely to face the economic crisis like as powerful as during the COVID time or, the year 2000, those stock market cut nearly half or one third at least, okay? So if Comet still can be seen in Taurus, we should pay attention because Taurus is about the money, about the food, and we know the inflation is going up because the war, because the petrol and the gas has difficult to go through the Persian Gulf. Okay, so these words us pay extra attention about the money, price, and the food. Well, it's unlikely we can still see Comet around the 20th of April, but if this Comet survive and we can still see it around the 20th of April, then that's Gemini theme. And Uranus moved Gemini, then that's like a very creative power of communication, transport. Maybe we're going to see the new development of the public transport or electric car or the automatic cars, or or the flying taxi. All this kind of development worth us to pay attention. Maybe drone. The drone, I think, is one simple manifestation of the Uranus in Gemini. Okay, it's a tiny flying things. Okay, well, another way to see this is about to check its constellation. Between 4th of April to 8th of April, Comet move around the Pisces constellation. Let me show you the map. So in the beginning, here is a Pisces constellation, okay? So we can still relate it to Pisces sign, but most symbolically, we are thinking about ocean. We are thinking about ocean, river, water, okay? Then this area, symbol of this area is the bond, the belt linking two fish. So link, connection, bond together, bring things together are the key word of this comet. And then later, we have from 8th of April to 15th of April, Comet moved toward to the Cetus constellation. Here is Cetus. Some people call it whale. Or if you know like Greek mythology, this is sea monster, or release the Kraken. Okay, this is the Kraken, sea monster, Cetus. What does this constellation means? I think Dr. Benedict Brady suggests this constellation are related to our deep unconsciousness, the deepest fear, deepest sorrow, and also deepest emotion. Usually when the comet or any planet configuration happen around this area, it's going to release the huge fear and make people collectively feel that kind of a powerful sensation of life, death, and everything connect together. We are going to experience a powerful emotion. These are usually happen when the huge disaster happen. So this is why I say this comet may, if we can see it, we may have to pay a huge attention about this comet, especially we know this comet called Sungrazer. So it grazes the sun. Some leader of the country has to pay attention. Here is another technique that we are put comet's position in the new moon and full moon chart. So the closest 60, when we can see this comet is the 2nd of April, the full moon. On this day, comet is at 20 degrees of Aries. Okay, so was set between Sun and the Chiron. Okay, for UK, I think is in 3rd house. So for UK could be the traffic, transport, and education. Okay, but see, you can see, draw a full moon chart for your country and see where the 20-degree Aries it is. Okay, then you can see what's the comet's message for your country. And welcome to share with me here. But we can see as a Sungrazer comet, well, usually it is going to be super bright and very close to the sun. So the country leader should pay a lot of attention. And nevertheless, comets are always a sign of the death of great prince or the country leader. So it worth us to pay a little bit attention. What I say is only if we can see this comet after 4th of April, all right? Now, let's focus on another comet. Well, here we have another comet. We may be going to see it around mid of April. Maybe we can see it as soon as the beginning of April, but we never know. So far, the data I have, let me share here with you. So far, the data I have suggests we maybe can see this comet around early April, but just like in the area where have a low light pollution, because according this website, we have comet reach the 4-degree magnitude around the 4th of April. That's why some website will tell you you may be going to see 2 comets. You may be going to see 2 comets. So what's going to happen is, if you're going to see the comet on the comet maps on the 5th of the April or 6th of April, then it is around the Pisces area. But nearly the same time, you will see another comet near Pegasus constellation. Okay, so you may really able to see 2 comets, but one is more bright, and during that time, the comet PanStarrs R3 is a little bit dim. You can only see it when you are in the area where is low light pollution, more countryside, seaside, high altitude are best. Okay, so this comet, we call it a C/2025 R3, and the name Comet PanStarrs. Well, if you heard about the comet, you're probably very familiar with PanStarrs comet's name. Okay, it's going to reach the perihelion on the 19th of April. Okay, this would be the time the comet is super, super bright on the 18 April, 19 April, and it's probably going to reach magnitude 2. That is really, you can see it with naked eye. Again, you probably need to go to somewhere has low light pollution. If you are in the metropolitan, like London, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, whatever, don't even think about it. Go to countryside where have low light pollution and try your luck, okay? And this comet was the discovered on the 8th of September. Here I have discovered chart on 8th of September, okay, in Hawaii. So we can see from this discovery chart on the 8th of September 2025, interestingly, we have a moon very close to Saturn and Neptune, and it was discovered around the full moon day. That was interesting. Okay, that was really interesting. And if I check it, okay, so the comet was discovered at 7 degree Taurus, so was here. 7 degree Taurus was here in the 11th house. Okay, so this is a discovery chart. We have Cancer rising. We have Cancer rising, Jupiter in the Cancer, and then 8 degree of Taurus is kind of a trine of Mercury, okay, trine of Mercury and the square of Pluto. So this comet can maybe bring some hidden message, okay, bring some hidden message, okay, that wants us to pay attention. Let's go to check the important information. So first, the type of this comet is a hyperbolic. So this comet maybe will eventually leave our solar system and never return. Okay. The comet was discovered at 8th of September 2025 at 8 degree Taurus. And we are expecting the comet's perihelion. Perihelion date is on the 19th of April on the 10 degree Aries. Okay, again, Taurus, Aries, and the 10 degree Aries is a very sensitive degree. For many countries, has a sun around there, or sun square there, okay? More striking us is if this comet can be seen around the end of April, then we should pay attention. First, on the 24th of April, comet will cross the ecliptic at 29 degree Aries. Okay, 29 degree Aries. That's a very crucial point. And then if we can still see comet on the 1st of May, maybe or maybe not. We are not sure, but I will do an update for you. But if we can still see this comet on the 1st of May, we may be going to see this comet at past the celestial equator at 27 degree Taurus. First, very close to Uranus. Second, if you study fixed stars, you probably already know what I'm going to say. This comet is aligned with Argo at this degree. So far, we still don't know when are we going to see this comet, so I didn't put the data on. But we are expecting to see comet around the early April, okay? So the zodiac, for the tropical zodiac, so this comet most likely to be seen from Pisces, so water, river, ocean, chemistry, chemical engineer, gas, okay? All these kind of things we already know. From 13th of April to 24th of April is Aries, then action, military, war, fire sign, extremely heat, okay? Hot weather. That is what we should pay attention. If comet still can be seen around after 24th of April to 1st of May, then comet will appear in Taurus. Like another comet we already mentioned, that this would be food, money, financial investment market, okay? Well, if luckily we can still see this comet after May, it will stay in Gemini, that this is communication, okay? Communication, education, transporting, that we should pay attention. Most likely we're going to see this comet if we can see it with our naked eye. During the first time when it appears, it is located at the Pegasus constellation between the 1st of April to 18th of April. So here, okay, during this time, between the 1st April to something like 18 April, the comet is appear in the Pegasus constellation. So anything about a fly with a horse, with riding, with transport, with flying, okay? These are the things we pay attention. And then comet will move to Pisces constellation. So again, it repeats itself. It emphasizes about ocean, river, fishing, chemistry, connection. And then like another comet, this comet will move to Cetus constellation, a kind of ocean theme, whale, dolphin, large mammal in the sea, or the deep emotion related to our collective unconsciousness. And then after this time, Comet will temporarily move to Taurus constellation, financial and the food, agriculture, okay? And then go to Eridanus. If we can still see this comet in the Eridanus, it brings a sudden change, huge sudden change about this comet, okay? So here I share, well, it's not really important, but I share the comet's degree with you in case you can see the comet pass in your chart on what date. Okay, you can see this. I mark the yellow is the date. So here is the date on the 1st of April. Comet is located at 20 degree Pisces. All right. So it moved to Aries around this time, okay? 14th of April, it moved into 0 degree Aries. So pay attention about this comet. What I'm going to share with you is the things I usually do. If we can see the comet before mid of April, that's what I mean is, what I say is, if we can see comet with naked eye before mid-April, then we should pay attention to this chart, the full moon of 2nd April. We already see it. We use this map. We use this 2nd for April full moon chart for another comet maps. And we talk about that time. Comet maps is around the, if I remember correctly, is around the 20 degree Aries. But this time we have the Comet PanStarrs R3 2025 R3 at the 5 degree Taurus. Okay, at the 5 degree Taurus, not far from Venus. So what are we going to pay attention? We're going to pay attention with Venus. So art, jewelry, nice things, artists, ladies, females, and the financial market and the food market. These are the things we should pay attention, okay? So if it's related to Venus, from a traditional astrology view, we'll pay attention in the art market, we'll pay attention with jewelry, artists, and especially with the female, because this is a planet of a female sign. Okay, and then also related to Taurus, financial market, and the food. This is what we pay attention. However, around the comet past the perihelion, on the 17th of April, we will have a new moon. And this new moon, we will have comet located at 6 degree Aries. Now check this chart. The 6 degree Aries is right between Mars and the Saturn conjunction, because a few days after, I remember on 20th of April, we are going to have a Mars-Saturn conjunction in Aries at 7 degree Aries. So before that, we have a new moon and the comet appear at the 6 degree Aries for a triple conjunction with a Mars, comet, and the Saturn. And the comet is likely to be seen by the naked eye during that time. What does that mean? Well, use your astrological knowledge. Mars, Saturn, in one way, could mean something aggressive, as both planets are so-called malefic in the traditional sense. However, we have the Mars in its ruler sign with a dignity. So, but that still mean, could that mean war are not going to stop as soon as we can? Or maybe we have like a more positive attitude going to construct the things we want to. Maybe the world will, or the conflict will have like a new direction development that going to surprise us. Okay? Well, thank you for joining me today. And before I finish today, I want to remind you tomorrow we have Kina Yassin join us. We are going to talk about the um, Uranus in Gemini. This is the most important outer planet moving sign for this year. And also on the 11th of the April, we have Marcus Patchett going to join us. Let me share with you, okay? So tomorrow we have Kina Yassin talking about the Uranus in Gemini. And then on the 11th of April, Saturday, our dear colleague, a herbalist and medical astrologer, Marcus Patchett, going to talk about astrology and health, constitutional remedy from the stars. So if this is the beginner friendly webinar, talking about how we're going to find the best remedy from our natal chart. And don't worry, this is a beginner-friendly level, okay? And on the 25th of April, I'm going to talk about Chiron, how Chiron healing the collective heart, because Chiron is going to move sign in June, so move to Taurus. And this is the anniversary we discover Chiron, 50 years. So this I'm going to review whole Chiron cycle and then to kind of learn from this cycle how Chiron healing our collective society. And then if you are interested in relationship astrology, in May, 16th of May, I invite dear colleague Margaret Great going to share an introduction to relationship astrology. We always curious about how astrology shaping our relationship and talk about our relationship. If you want to know, if you want to use astrology to help you more comfortable in the relationship, you should not miss this introduction to the relationship astrology. Okay, so thank you for watching today's podcast Astrologer's Guide. Today I focus on the two comets that we may be likely going to see in April. As I say, that comet is always unpredictable. This is one characteristic of comet. An astronomer say comets are like a cat. It has tail and it go anywhere it like. So even though we are kind of a bit positive about we may be going to see two bright comets in the sky in April. One is a cruise Sungrazer appear around the Easter holiday. But the first condition is it has to survive when it go too close to the sun, because this type of comet is very close to the sun. So there's a big part of chance it break up when it passes the sun. Okay, but if it not break up, if it survive, then it would be a phenomenal the astronomy show in the early of April around the Easter holiday. And at the same time, we can expecting another comet. It's not that bright, but still visible in the sky. So stay in tune and I will keep you updated. Okay. See you next week. Bye-bye.